September 2013. The sky is grey, the water is still, and I'm at the start line of the World Championships in sprint kayak in Duisburg, Germany. 1 minute to the start. The speaker's voice echoes across the lake. The boat rocks slightly beneath me. My heart is pounding. And then something's wrong. It's not just the nerves, it's not just the adrenaline. My heart is racing out of control, too fast, too soon. And it isn't just the nerves. I have a heart condition, and for years my heart has done this, racing to abnormal levels without warning. I've seen doctors and they say it's safe to compete, but still, here I am, at the biggest race of my life, and my heart is failing me again. This is where most people break. This is where hesitation wins. But I had trained for this moment. So instead of hesitation, I just asked myself one question. What's my next step? This is a ready, set moment. A moment where everything inside you says stop, but you still choose to go. Ready, set, go. But I wasn't born a champion. I wasn't even confident. At home, my dad drank too much. My mom struggled with depression. I learned to hide what was happening. I never invited friends over. I became the funny kid, so no one would ask questions. I was always looking for somewhere else to be. One day, a friend asked me to join him at his canoe club. I wanted to say no because it was new, it was uncomfortable, and most of all, I was actually really afraid of water. But I went anyway. And that was my first ready, set moment. And at that time, I had no idea how much that small moment would change the rest of my life. Years later, after fighting my way to a couple of championship finals, I stood at another moment of hesitation. Summer of 2012, the London Olympics, all the best athletes in the world had gathered in one place to compete against each other of the biggest races of their lives. And I'm watching it from my living room. Because I'm not there, I have failed to qualify. And for the first time since I started paddling, I haven't done a single training session during that whole summer. I have decided I am done with this sport, I am quitting. But then my coach asked me a question. So what if, instead of quitting, you will be so good in 1 year that at the World Championship in 1 year you will still reach the final on your worst day of the year? So reach the final at the World Championships on my worst day of the year. I didn't really know how to answer that because up until then I'd been living on hope. I'd hoped that my next race would be the best. I hoped that somehow, when I needed to, I would rise to the occasion. But hope had failed me. So instead of hoping, I made a decision. I started building. So for the next year, I didn't focus on winning. I barely even thought about standing up on a podium. Instead, every day, I focused on one thing. Get better at one thing. One day, it was improving my start. One day, it was increasing my endurance. One day was adjusting my stroke efficiency. Every day, one thing. And I trained like this when I felt like it, when I didn't, when I was happy, when I was sad, when it was warm, when it was cold. You get it every single day. Because the conditions will never be ideal. The plan will never be perfect, but you can always take one next step. And that's what ready set moments are all about. Not waiting for the right time, not thinking 10 steps ahead, just taking the next one. And then there was Evelina, my coach, my wife, the love of my life. She taught me what ready set moments were before we even knew what to call them. Evelina never said, you have to win. She never said, you have to be the best. Instead, every day, she just asked me one question. What's your next step? She helped rewire my brain into thinking in small steps instead of giant leaps. And this is also the foundation of acceptance and commitment therapy, or ACT, a method used by top athletes, military units, and psychologists all over the world. And according to ACT, when the moment of hesitation comes, it's simple. Just do 3 things. 1, acknowledge the moment. 2, take a deep breath and accept what you feel. 3, most important, just take the step anyway. And that's exactly what I've been training myself to do. And that's why, when standing at the start line with my heart racing, I didn't panic. I just took the next step. September 2013. The sky is grey, the water is still. I'm back at the start line in Duisburg, Germany. 1 minute to the start of the World Championship final. Please come to the start line. My heart is still out of control. But I don't panic, I don't fight it. I accept it. And I ask myself the question, what is my next step? And then I take it. The first paddle stroke, and then another. Left, right, left, right. Just one ready set moment after the other, all the way to the finish line. And I don't know if I had the worst day or the best day of the year, but I do know this. Every single moment during the past year have led me here. And on that day, it led me to gold. I became the 2013 world champion. I went on to win a total of 12 championship medals over the coming 10 years. Not by thinking 10 steps ahead, just by taking the next one. People ask me about motivation. Motivation is overrated. Winning doesn't happen when you feel ready. Winning happens when you step forward no matter what. And if you can master the small moments, you can win the big ones. So next time you hesitate, pause. Recognize the moment. This is your ready, set moment. The second hesitation comes creeping in, that's the second where you can separate action from regret. And when the moment comes, just remember this. You don't have to feel ready. You just have to take the step. Ready, set, go.